I mean, if his premise was that stocks are always going to be a better investment than bonds, that's kind of what you hear today, which we've been hearing for a while, is Tina, there is no alternative, right? You have to buy stocks because bond yields are so low, because interest rates are so low.
Well, if you look at the present situation, we've talked about this before, that you get more for your money in stocks than bonds. That doesn't have to be the case. I mean, but it's usually been the case in America, very usually been the case. And if you buy a 30-year bond today with a yield 2%, you're paying 50 times earnings for an investment where the earnings can't go up for 30 years. Now, if somebody said, I want to sell you a stock that's at 50 times earnings and the earnings can't go up for 30 years, you'd say that doesn't sound very good. Stocks are way better than 30-year bonds. I mean, that's clear. And that's one of the alternatives people have. People really have three basic alternatives: short-term cash, which is an option of doing something later on; long-term bonds, or long-term stocks. And stocks are cheaper than bonds.
Charlie said recently, Charlie Munger, the vice chairman at Berkshire Hathaway, had his daily journal meeting just a couple of weeks ago. And at that meeting, he said that there's a lot of wretched excess out there and that there's a lot of trouble coming as a result. Do you agree with that?
There's always trouble coming. Yeah, there was trouble coming in 1942 when I bought that first stock, all kinds of trouble. Philippines were going to fall pretty soon. There was all kinds of trouble in 1949. There was trouble, certainly trouble in 2008 when I wrote an article for the New York Times. I said trouble is coming, but I said buy stocks.
Would you repeat that this time? If trouble's coming, would you still say buy stocks right now?
I would say buy stocks if you get enough for your money. And, you know, we buy a few stocks, but we don't look at, we're not buying the stock market. We're saying, I am buying, let's say American Express. We own American Express. You know, there's 815 million shares out and sells it. This morning's 126 or something like that. So it's selling for roughly $100 billion. Now, the real question is whether the company's worth more or less than $100 billion. It isn't what the stock is going to do tomorrow or next week or next month.
You said just a few minutes ago when we asked you on Worldwide Exchange, right now Berkshire Hathaway is a net buyer of stocks. You are in a net buying position?
We've been a net buyer of stocks, or I've actually been a personal net buyer of stocks ever since I was 11, every year. And there's been